Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit the like button. Comment in the section. Look, we got some breaking news that just came out. Breaking news. This is some very critical info. So Raven tried to say that her dad, Maurice, showed up as the car, the white Benz, was speeding off. That he was pulling up as the white Benz was speeding off the parking lot, okay? And then that, this is crazy. She said that it was already a cop there when her dad pulled up, and that's why they let him on the scene. It wasn't no, what cop are you talking about? Who was there? How could there have been a cop there when everybody knows that the report said it took 15 minutes for the 12 to show up? So how could he have been pulling in as that white Benz is speeding away and not see anything that happened? So he didn't see the guy running outside chasing after the white Benz with the whole strap, with the whole stick on him. That's the crazy thing. And then here's what she said. She said there's already a 12 on scene, and that's who let her dad into the scene. And it's like, how could that have happened? Because ain't no way. Maurice showed up. Maurice showed up before the cops got there. So he was already in there destroying and distracting the crime scene. Like he was moving things around, like damaging the crime scene basically. And that's what they're trying to lie and save him out of. Like, that's the biggest lie. And then she said that the first cop that showed up, they went to the footage and got the footage and removed it from the shop, and that they didn't get a chance to review it or anything. But then when you look at the interview of the brother, he says that Maurice had to show him how to work it and show them the footage. None of that adds up, because if Raven says the first 12 showed up and he went straight to the footage, and that was he in that, and how could a Maurice have showed up and he be in the front of the store to let him in? So they're saying that Maurice and the 12 met at the front of the store at the same time. And immediately, because neither the 12 was there before the Maurice, that's not true. That's a lie. And they couldn't have. So what she's trying to basically say is that Maurice showed up and it was a 12 already out there. He wasn't inside the shop. The 12 was outside. And that Maurice had to be the one that goes in and say, hey, it's safe to come out. And then apparently him and the 12 went to the back to get the footage. And that Maurice, according to the brother, had to show him how to do it, how to play it and review the footage. But Raven's saying that they never got to see the footage. So no matter what scenario you put it, it don't add up. So that means Raven and the brother were lying as far as the showing them how to work the footage. Now, Maurice went and was looking at the footage and doing whatever he wanted to the footage before the 12 even showed up. That's the real truth. That he had a chance to do whatever he wanted, because they said this took 15 minutes for the 12 to show up. So obviously Raven's lying, because 12 wasn't there yet, and Maurice had a whole 15 minutes. So in that 15 minutes, as he's telling people it's okay, get up, he's already thinking about the footage. The footage comes to mind right away due to the fact that they just got cameras. This is fresh in his mind. Like, they already are expecting something to happen, and that they need to go get to the footage and be able to look and see what happened and draw a narrative based off of that before the 12 even get there. He had 15 minutes to coach all of them into saying that he wasn't there and this and that, but he was there the whole time. That's why it's so important for those witnesses, and that he doesn't get to be a part of it. Like, that's the reason why Maurice can actually be charged with something due to the fact that he entered into the store, into the crime scene before the 12 got there. And the fact that they had 15 minutes and he was doing all sorts of things inside that store. The footage, talking to the people. Immediately, you're supposed to have been separated. Like, he ain't call the 12. They had to call him. Don't forget that. So the fact that they entered the crime scene, he did, and didn't call 911 is the reason why he could be charged. Plus, walking around and tampering with witnesses and objects and the victims and evidence of the footage. The fact that he went and messed with all that and never called 911 and that they had to call him because the laundromat called, that's why he can get in trouble. And that's why it's an issue. And that's why Raven is lying to cover that up, because they know that that's actually a wrongdoing. Like, you can't do that. You were supposed to provide first aid. That's the only reason you would step in. And if you didn't provide first aid, then what were you doing? Nobody said they tried to provide first aid. The only thing they did was get close to him enough to say words to him, but were taking his chain and the jewelry because he had a lot of jewelry on and everything, and now that's all missing. And the fact that ain't no way his arm was sticking like that when they said that he was in the corner of the room. And they said he was on the corner of the room with on his phone. Well, if you look at where his body laying, that ain't the corner of the room. So why isn't, how did he get from there to there? When trajectory, when the force of those rounds will push you back. So that's what we're trying to figure out, man. So that's what another lie that they got caught in, and their stories don't add up. And when you look at all those interviews and you try to play it to where everybody's telling, like, you get everybody's perspective of that same storyline, it don't add up. And that's truly what you would use to know that there's something fishy going on, that somebody is not telling the truth, somebody has some sort of thing to do with it, and they're covering up for either themselves or someone else. Raven knows that her and her mom was the one that came in to open the store that day. So when Maurice gets on the phone with her, it's because he was looking on the footage and seen Raven came to open the shop. Like, it's early in the morning, right? When this all happens, it's like between 10 to 10:30 a.m. And when Maurice is there and he's reviewing the footage that 15 minutes before the 12 show up, he sees that it's Raven and the mom that come and open up the shop that morning. So he called Raven and say, "Hey, you want me to take this out the footage? What should I do?" She's trying to tell him, they're deciding whether they want to edit and take out Raven from the footage, because they can edit it and make it look like the cameras only turn on for the motion that happens. So they can just edit anything out that isn't fast running motion, like the cars pulling up and people running up to the shop. So that's how that you could finesse around that. You could say, "Oh yeah, these parts aren't in the footage because there wasn't enough motion for the camera to start recording." A lot of these cameras, they could be set to motion detecting mode, where they only record and save those footages when there's motion detected. That way it saves battery and can run longer, and only catches when there's action going on. But that leaves a loophole where if you walk up slow enough, it's not going to record you. So what if something did happen and you take that part of the footage out, and you can just say that it wasn't enough movement, so the cameras never picked it up? You see what I'm saying? There's a way to finesse and have a motive on how to basically fix and edit the footage to make it go with whatever they're trying to say. So when he's on the phone with Raven, he's telling her, hey, you're on footage open in the store. Should I take that out or not? And they made a decision on what to do with that. And the next thing he keeps going, and that's how they're reviewing the footage with Raven. And that's how she's able to know kind of like a glimpse of kind of what happened and what to cover up, what not to talk about. But because of the fact that she wasn't in the shop with Maurice when everything was going down, she kind of is blabbering all over the place. So Maurice has to coach her. That's why Maurice is there. Why would he be coaching her if he didn't either be there or see the footage? And if he's seen the footage, then he had an opportunity to make a lot of changes to it. So that's what's going on, man. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Let me know in the comments what y'all think.